In this video, we're looking at top 3 sales mistakes when it comes to website domain names. Welcome back to another video. My name is James Newell. I teach people how to sell. In these videos, we cover everything from finding, engaging, closing, following up clients, and understanding the psychology of your buyer. But in this video, we're looking at mistakes that you can make when it comes to securing the right domain name for your business. Let's jump straight into it. So the number one mistake that I see, it's very obvious to me, but perhaps not so obvious to other people, is to secure the .com domain name. From my research and from my experience with my clients and students, most people guess in .com. So if I tell you my business is called Clear Sales Message, you're very likely to guess that I exist at clearsalesmessage.com, which thankfully I do. Lots of businesses have .io or .co, or there's an obscure ending to their domain name. And whilst it's okay to have your website hosted there and have that, you need to be mindful of the fact that people guess in .com, and if they don't find you at the .com, it's an unnecessary commercial impediment. Now, the .com for your business might be ridiculously expensive or unavailable, so sometimes you can't avoid this fact. But if you do not have the .com domain name for your business or the name of your product or service or your offerings, then I urge you to secure that today if you're able to do so, because people guess in .com. The second mistake I see all too often is a domain name that's not easy to read, write, speak, or spell. Now, whether it's got an acronym in it like BBC, or whether it's got a number in it like 2, is that TO, is that the number 2? Things that are difficult to speak and spell and read and write, by definition, are going to be another commercial impediment. So does your domain name actually stand independent of your offering? And could I guess at what you do or know what you do from just seeing your domain name? And if I can't, or if your domain name is difficult to spell, it's got tricky words in it like fuchsia or whatever, you need to be mindful of the fact that I might flinch. I might struggle to remember it, struggle to spell it, struggle to recall it or share it with other people. And again, that's going to limit how far I will spread the message about your business or the likelihood of me actually visiting your website. So the second mistake is not being easy to read, write, speak, or spell. If you do have an abstract business name or a difficult to spell business or something like that, the simple workaround is to use the phrases or the questions that your clients will use when interacting with your offering, and own the .com domain name for those if it's available and if it's affordable. For example, you could have washmywindows.com for a window cleaning company, or cutmygrass.com for a lawn mowing company. Something that's going to be what your potential clients would be saying or thinking or feeling. Own the .com as per the first mistake, but you can use that and you can point that at your original web domain name, which might be difficult to read, write, speak, or spell. And the final mistake along those kind of same lines is the use of hyphens. If you have a hyphenated website address, you're just putting a barrier. Each one of those hyphens is like a mini little barrier between you and people visiting your website or sharing your website with others. So again, I would urge you to consider, first of all, owning the .com, and secondly, think about an alternative domain name without hyphens in it that you could use that would be easy to read, write, speak, and spell. And as in mistake number 2 there, perhaps it is as simple as, what are your clients thinking or feeling or saying, and could you term it around that? So those are 3 simple mistakes that we can get wrong, things that can happen when you have a domain name for your business. They're pretty easy to put right, and most domain names are quite affordable. It just takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of ingenuity to come up with what works for you. Make sure you've got the .com. Make sure it's easy to read, write, speak, and spell, and make sure you don't use hyphens. I'd love to see in the comments below if you've ever seen any ridiculous domain names. There is actually one for the longest station in the world, longest train station in the world, which is in Wales. I'm not going to try and say the word, but they have a domain name and it's got hundreds and hundreds of characters. It's ridiculous. It pretty much falls foul of all of the things that I'm advising you to do here. But any weird, wonderful domain names you'd see, I'd love to have those in the comments below. And then just before you go, I have a very quick question. Do you fear, hate, or avoid selling? Because if you do, and it's very common to be reticent around selling, to not really be sure about it and know what to do, I've written a digital book called Scared to Sell, scaredtosell.com. It's a concise digital book that's designed to help you understand why you don't like selling, and more importantly, give you the strategies and the tools to overcome that and feel more confident and more comfortable when you're selling. So that's it for another video. I'll see you next time.